right, hello wine drinking people. We're back. It's Saturday, August 28th, finishing up another great week here at the Wine Watch. And we've got no events on the calendar for next week. What the heck is going on? Well, I think I was just supposed to be getting home from Argentina at this point, or the kids are going back to school, or I don't know what excuse I can make to you, but there's not a good one. We should at least have one event going on every week, and I apologize. The following week, we've got a number of things going on, and a lot of events the end of September and the first part of October. So check it out on our calendar of events up on the website. But first, what did I have to drink yesterday? Well, yesterday was Friday, and as you know, typically not a great day in the store with suppliers. So we got shut out. Not one supplier in the store yesterday. But that's okay. We had a busy day. We had a lot of work to do. Not really. It's not okay, but that's how it was. And we knew we had the vintage Aussie tasting coming up that night. And these Aussie wines, some of them are a little hefty when it comes to the alcohol ratio. Even though some of these old ones, I ran around 14%. But still, we only had 8 tasters last night. That means at least 1 bottle per person. And we were up to the task. And let me tell you, I can tell you a few things after this tasting. One thing, if you have 1997 vintage wines, drink them up. This is a vintage that is drinking at or near its peak. It ain't getting much better. 1998, the wine of the night last night, the 1998 Elderton Command Shiraz. Not only is this a contender every vintage, but the 98 vintage will go down as one of the great vintages of the 90s and of the last 30 years in Australia. If you have great 98 vintage wines, you can drink them now. They're fantastic, but you can hold on to them for another 10 years or more, I would bet. 1999. These wines also drinking at or near their peak. And if you've got 99 Aussies in your cellar, drink them up, mate. Not getting much better, all right? If you like Shiraz, you like that lovely forward fruit, and that's one of the first things that fades. So you like that fruit, drink up the 10-year-old Aussies from, well, the 1997 and 99 definitely, and some of the lesser 98s probably also ready to go. But we had some 01s last night. We had some wines that I'd never tasted last night, like the Windaree, which is one of the cult wines of Australia. This is a wine you can only get on the mailing list. I saw it some nicer wine stores when I was there, but didn't have an opportunity to try it. Very unique stuff. When you smell the bouquet of this wine, you got some real dark spices, some eucalyptus, some black pepper, soy, really exotic. And the wine opened up all night, and you could tell it's from the Eden Valley, a cooler area. You definitely didn't get as much explosive fruit in this wine, but still it had quite a bit of blackberry and blueberry fruit. Really nice, really intense, really complex. And we sold the last 3 bottles that we had last night, so we're now out of Windaree. Okay, the other wine that really stood out to me, the Three Hills. This is a wine from Margaret River from the 99 vintage. When I just mentioned the 99 vintage you should drink up, well, the Margaret River is way far away from South Australia, so completely different climate conditions there, completely different vintage 99. I'm not exactly sure how great it was. It wasn't great in South Australia, but this wine was still huge. Very intense, lots of blackberry, blueberry fruit, violets, dark chocolate, really rich, had wonderful firm acidity still. This is a wine I would imagine you could keep for another 10 years or more. Again, one of my wines of the night. And then the Elderton Command Shiraz. As I mentioned in my opening, this is one of the greatest wines made in Australia every year. The 98 took the prize for me last night. Drinking beautiful, showing a lot of that lovely blackberry, jammy, plummy fruit, but still had some firm tannins to resolve and a ways to go. Lovely freshness in this wine. Drinking beautiful, the wine of the night for me last night. The Rockford, one of the cult wines of the Barossa. This is a winery where winemaking legends like Chris Ringland, Christian Canuck have come out of. Robert O'Callaghan has trained some of the brightest young minds in the Barossa. And this wine is somewhat unique. He uses all basket presses to make this, some very old techniques. But you get really the essence of the Barossa Valley coming through in this wine. This lovely chocolatey note, this lovely plummy blackberry fruit, black cherry liqueur, and drinking really nice. 01 was a hot vintage, so a lot of these 01s also drinking very nice right now, and probably at or near their peak. The Fox Creek 97 Beautiful. This is when Sarah and Sparky Marquis were still there. And 97, a lighter vintage. You can tell the lesser vintages just by the production of Australia's #1 wine, Grange 97. They made a tiny amount of Grange, probably 3,000 to 4,000 cases. Usually that wine's in the 10,000 case level. We started out with a Penfolds wine. We needed a warm up, and I didn't feel like drinking a white last night. We didn't have to, so we opened up the 1996 Kalimna. We had this wine reviewed a few days ago. Drinking beautiful now. Still quite a bit of fruit. Really nice. Used to be a single vineyard wine. Now it contains some vineyards outside of the Barossa. But everything showed up. The Standish 99. I think this was the first vintage of this wine. This wine needs to be drank if you have it. Really lacking a little bit of acidity to me on the finish. And the Dracot, one of the only wines with Grenache and Mourvedre in it. This wine also really perfumed and just showed a little bit of those other varietals, a little bit of the gamey quality of the Mourvedre, but a beautiful wine. And we have a little bit more of this wine to sell. And that's right, folks. Check out everything else that we've got on the offer from our Vintage Australian today. I'm your host, Andrew Lampazone, signing off. That's what I drank last night, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.